I've got the top 10 second basemen in fantasy baseball coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I'm going to count down the top 10 second basemen that you should target in your upcoming fantasy baseball drafts. If you like this content, please smash that like button. And a special thanks goes to all of our subscribers who have been watching these videos, as you now account for 23% of all viewers. To the other 77% of viewers that haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so, as it helps me create these videos for you. Also, leave a comment on who you think deserves to be on this list. This episode is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy Sports. Use the promo code BEATTHEODDS to double your first deposit up to $250. And first-time users get a free square. Like tonight, if you bet on Wemby to score 1 point, and he does, then you win. Let's start off this list with number 10, Bryson Stott. Last season, he had 78 runs scored, 15 homers, 62 runs batted in, 31 stolen bases, and a .280 average. Stott is a premier defender with excellent bat-to-ball skills. His 15.6 K rate puts him in the top 87th percentile, and that is mostly due to his outstanding 95th percentile on whiff percentage. He will put the ball in play, which works well for his 88% sprint speed. He spent time in the upper parts of the lineup last season, but I'd wager that unless there's an injury, he's going to end up likely batting in the bottom third of the lineup to start this year. To number 9 we go. We have Ketel Marte. Last season he had 94 runs scored, 25 homers, 82 runs batted in, 8 stolen bases, and a .276 average. Now I got some numbers for you. Let's start. 768, 961, 732, 909, 727, and 844. And these are the OPSs of Marte's last 6 seasons. Do you see a trend? If the pattern holds, this should be a dip year here for Marte. But if you look a little closer, his peaks aren't as high and his valleys are lower every cycle. I might be reading too much into this, but I'd wager that you're not going to see a repeat of Ketel's 2023. He's still going to be rosterable, just don't expect the world. Over to number 8 we go. We have Gleyber Torres. Last season he had 90 runs scored, 25 homers, 68 runs batted in, 13 stolen bases, and a .273 average. Torres is a better hitter than most of us realize, plus he's firmly in the peak of his career. He has significantly improved his K rate while keeping his walk rate in the top 70th percentile. He's not necessarily going to tear the cover off the ball, but he can make consistent contact. Torres should be placed in a prime spot in the batting lineup that now includes Juan Soto. This is likely a gamble that I'm willing to take. Over to number 7 we go. We have Ha-Seong Kim. Last season he had 84 runs scored, 17 homers, 60 runs batted in, 38 stolen bases, and a .260 average. Kim is one of the biggest benefactors of the increased bases, as his stolen base total more than tripled to 38 last season. He projects as a better fielder than a hitter, which will give him some added security in the lineup. Kim is also an impeccable eye at the plate, as his 12.0 walk rate would attest. He spent a lot of time near the top of the order last year and likely is going to be returning there this season. Let's go over to number 6. We have Nico Hoerner. Last season he had 98 runs scored, 9 homers, 68 runs batted in, 43 stolen bases, and a .283 average. Good luck striking this guy out. Hoerner was in the 99th percentile for whiff percentage and the 96th percentile in K percentage. He has almost no power, but if you're planning on drafting him, you're probably already aware of that. His glove is elite, and he's going to be in the top 20% of players in the league in sprint speed this year. The 43 bags that Hoerner pilfered is not a fluke. You should expect the same this season. Let's go to number 5. We have Matt McLain. Last season he had 65 runs scored, 16 homers, 50 runs batted in, 14 stolen bases, and a .290 average. Even though McLain has shortstop eligibility, I find it fitting to list him here, as I feel this is going to be the spot that he's going to likely land here when everything's all said and done. McLain made loud contact all throughout his rookie season, but he's going to have to continue to do that if he wants to outperform his expecting batting average of .256 from last year. The Reds will score a ton of runs, and McLain is likely going to be in the middle of a lot of that offense this season. Moving on to number 4, we have Jose Altuve. Last season he had 76 runs, 17 homers, 51 runs batted in, 14 stolen bases, and a .311 average. Love him or hate him, Altuve always seems to outperform his metrics, and last year was no exception. His expecting batting average was .245, but his actual batting average was 66 points higher. He ranks in the bottom 37 percentile for speed, yet he stole 14 bags. Regression is knocking on Altuve's door, but I feel that he's got a couple more seasons of high-end production before his days as the top 5 second baseman will have come to an end. Let's go to number 3. We have Ozzie Albies. Last season he had 96 runs scored, 33 homers, 109 run batted in, 13 stolen bases, and a .280 average. Albies absolutely hammers left-handed pitching and is poised for a big year hitting near the top of the order in the potent Atlanta lineup. He's also in his age 27 season, which bodes well for Albies' floor. Can he repeat his numbers from last year? There's nothing in his profile to suggest that he can't. He may struggle to steal double-digit bags, but his offense is legit. Over to number 2 we go. We have Marcus Semien. Last season he scored 122 runs, 29 homers, 100 runs batted in, 14 stolen bases, and a .276 average. One look at Semien's spray chart and you can see the formula that he uses to be successful. He has mastered the art of pulling the baseball 350 feet in the air, which is just far enough to make it over the fence in left field. Expect the same from the ultra-durable Semien again this season. He's becoming more of a tough out with his recognition of the strike zone and extremely good contact skills. And last but not least, at number 1, we have Mookie Betts. Last season, he had 126 runs scored, 39 homers, 107 runs batted in, 14 stolen bases, and a .307 average. With the positional move to second base being made official, Betts becomes the clear number 1 second baseman that should be selected off the board. He isn't going to run like he used to, but his batting skills are absolutely elite. StatCast puts him in the 82nd percentile or higher on every single batting category that they track. That is just simply insane. He is still just 31 years old, so it's safe to assume that we should see Betts continue to play at this elite level that we would expect from him this season. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video and of course subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I am going to sign off for now, but I'm going to catch you guys on the next episode.